What's up, hackers? Welcome to Attack on Tuesday. 新年快乐! Tonight, we are taking on some of the newer TryHackMe rooms that just dropped. I noticed that there were a couple in there that seemed interesting to me, so I thought we'd start with this potentially relevant to my interests plotted room, and then if we have some time, we'll head over to this ret2libc to continue our binary exploitation. Captain Gibbon, good to see you. OreoBite, have I done the Log4j challenge? I did not do John Hammond's Log4j challenge, but we did Log4j live on stream, and, you know, we demonstrated that Moodle was vulnerable to it. I felt like I got my fill of Log4j in real life, you know what I mean? And other folks were covering that, so I kind of steer clear of it just so that you have a diversity of offerings in your streaming consumption. No joke. Every once in a while, like, Al and I will talk to each other and see, like, what are you doing, what, and so we don't, like, cross-program against each other just to make sure that we don't repeat. Hey, good day. I don't know if it was today, but this was released pretty recently. This is plotted and EMR. Without looking it up, does anyone know what EMR stands for? Wow, so interesting that this is, I mean, as the clipboard might suggest, EMR stands for Electronic Medical Records. So this is theoretically directly related to my day job, in which I work for a healthcare organization. So we're going to see what this is all about. I have the machine spun up. We're going to start here, and we'll start with our basic enumeration with good old rustscan, or yeah, rustscan, sudo rustscan, and let's put the IP in there. Nope, that was from when I copied in Xinyan Kuai, so that's not going to help out. Let's try that again. Kill that, go get the IP address. And I will output it to plain text. We'll call it plotted.txt. Now, just a couple of mentions on tooling. So I like using rustscan because it's fast in what it does. Because I don't know if we've talked about this on stream for a minute. So for new folks, what are we doing? We have to enumerate the ports on the target server, right? We have to see what's open, what can we actually look at and potentially attack. Now, usually when you're learning how to do this stuff, you're given the tool Nmap, which is a fantastic network scanning tool. It's about as gold standard as it gets. But Nmap, depending on the options that you give to it, can be a little bit slow. So if you want to run Nmap with a lot of different options, which in fact I do, this -A is going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, that Nmap has at the given ports. But if I want to pre-game it a little bit, I am just lightly tapping on these ports to see if they're open at all. And I'm doing that with Rust Scan. So what Rust Scan does is it does a quick run against these ports using TCP by default. I think you can do UDP as well. And then it will tell you what's open and then pass those open ports over to Nmap to get you the information that you need. So you can see that was really fast. We saw that 21, 22, 80. What else do we see? Let's take a look at it in plotted. So you have 21, 22, 80, and 8890, which is HTTP as well. That is suspicious. So I think the way that we're going to... And MySQL is open at 5900, which is different. Wow! Right up at the top, Christy Redeems Play Me a Song. You got it. Let me get this whole situation set up. Probably good to do it before we get too entrenched. Got to get my camera set up. How does Play Me a Song work? You redeem it, and I play you a song on the piano of my choosing. Honestly, not a lot to it. Oh, Jesus. Oreo Bite redeemed one, too. All right, 2 songs. You got it. Let's bring up everything here. Turning this into a music stream. Let me mute our music here. Let's bring the piano up. Alrighty. Then, one moment.
All right, can I get an audio check, please? Bit low in the voice. I promise that won't be true once I start singing. All right, up first is a song by The Midnight. If you don't know them, they're a fantastic synthwave band, but I'm going to do an acoustic cover here. This is called Come Back Kid. I've been so low, felt the wind blow like a screen door in a thunderstorm. Yeah, I've been down, been laid out, but you always were what I came here for. Waiting all day just for my sake, for a bell to ring, for the first sting. Yeah, I've been blue, ain't nothing new. It's you, my friend, why I get up again. And I've made mistakes and I've been hard hit. I say, so what? So what if I did? I'm the clear ride, I'm the comeback kid. Been a rough year, there've been some tough tears. I lost so fast all that I had. When it's time to, I'll fight for you, 'cause you know you are why I've come so far. mistakes and I've been hard hit. I say, so what? So what if I did? I'm the clear-eyed, I'm the comeback kid. Starting over again. I'm the clear-eyed, I'm the comeback kid. I've made mistakes and I've been hard hit. I say, so what? So what if I did? I'm the clear-eyed, I'm the comeback kid. All right, that was song 1. That was for Christy. Thank you very much. What do I want to do next? Okay. Yeah, I think we'll do a Decemberist song. Okay, this is Make You Better by the Decemberists. I want you, thin fingers, I wanted you, thin fingernails, and when you bend backwards, I wanted to, I needed you to make me better. I love you in springtime, I lost you when summer came, and when you pulled backwards, I wanted to, I needed to make me better. To make me better. But we're not so starry-eyed anymore, like the perfect paramour you were in your letters. Won't it all just come around to break you? Let it all unmake you till the day you met her. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. I sung you your twinges, I suffered you your tattletales, and when you broke sideways, I wanted to, I needed to make you better. To make you better. But we're not so starry-eyed anymore, like the perfect paramour you were in your letters. Won't it all just come around to make you? Let it all unbreak you till the day you met her. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. All I wanted was a sliver to call mine. All I wanted was a shimmer in your shine to make me bright. But we're not so starry-eyed anymore, like the perfect paramour you were in your letters. Won't it all just come around to make you? Let it all unbreak you till the day you met her. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. It'll make you better. All I wanted was a sliver to call mine.
Okay. How about some hacking? Well, thank you. It's always interesting to come back from that and be like, what? Oh, right, computers. All right, so we have, as we were saying, we have HTTP open, and we have it open two places. We have it 80 and 8890. That's weird, right? So I'm actually going to go after 8890 first, just because why put it there? But we also have FTP, which is an easy one to check. Thank you, honeypots. That's really nice to say. So let's go ahead and connect to FTP here. See if there's anything there. Orbital, thank you so much for the follow. Anani Mouse. Oh ho, login successful. Not even a password. All right, let's see what we got. Nothing, but let's do LSAL anyway. All right, they're being cute. Look at this ... Oh, we got a "you are determined." Okay, it's going to be one of those. Yeah. Okay. At this point, like, I can recognize the Rickroll video code. So obviously, that's just Rick Astley telling us that he's never going to give us up. So we're going to let that go. But we do have an admin account somewhere, which we were going to check anyway, so not super helpful. We've got Zap up and running. Let's go ahead and open this thing up on 8890 and see if there's anything there. All right, an Apache default page. And I'll bet you that's what we're going to see on the other one too. Yeah. All right, 8890, and is there anything cute in the source code? Whoa, didn't need to do that. Is there anything cute in the source code? Doesn't look like it. I think this might be a straight ahead enumeration thing. So let's go ahead and quit out of Vim, fire up trusty Ferox Buster, and we'll give it... yeah, we'll do big.txt. Why not? And we'll do 8890. I actually need to update this version of Ferox Buster, I'm pretty sure. there have been a lot of really cool recent commits. One thing that you can do now with Ferox Buster that I've been waiting for a long time is you can actually use multiple different HTTP methods with it now. So you can tell it to use post, put, patch, update if you're crazy. You can actually send those things over Ferox Buster now rather than just GET requests. Auto completion breaks when you use it. So that might be about your pathing killer, right? Or the way that your shell is set up. It does some fun things to the terminal if you don't have enough space to let it display the way it wants to. /80 was a 301. That's weird. What's happening there? It's the exact same page as the index, though, so that's just bizarre. All right, well, while it's doing that, we can... Let's see if there was anything else in there that we can take a look at. We tried FTP, there was nothing there. 22 SSH, I mean, until we have a username, I'm not brute forcing anything. Robots.txt, that's fair enough. If I do a spider in Zap, it should robots for me. Yep. And 404. That's just a fun little trick that you should know with Zap. If you tell it to do a spider, it's going to go look for robots.txt. Hey, Turco. We are doing a TryHackMe room. Fairly new one called Plotted-EMR. And currently we're enumerating. Let's see if we find anything interesting here. So far, not much. It looks to be a little cheeky. We found like a Rick-rolling text file in an FTP share. That's what we have so far. We're really just getting started because Christy and Orbital decided that I needed to play 2 songs before we actually got to business. Oh, snap! We have Portal. All right, let's give Portal a shot here. Aha, Open EMR. Interesting. Open EMR. Okay, well, there doesn't appear... Let's click on this link for licensing. All right, I'm looking for version. Let me guess that as a CVE. Yeah, we'll try admin, obviously. This is a hard... I should have mentioned that this is a hard rated room. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really hoping that means that we don't... It's not a brute force kind of thing. I don't want dead air, basically. So, interestingly, in the acknowledgements, we have a 2014, and it's open. You know what I mean? So, I think my next move would be go look this thing up on... I'll continue to do enumeration, right? And this thing is continuing to... Did I pass it an N? I did. That's okay. And let's also, before I go any further, check out what Wappalizer has to say. Wappalizer tells me that there is PHP up in the mix. Check defaults though. Admin. Oh my god. Admin. Password. Admin. That's for 1. I'm not too concerned about that. I'll do, you know, or 1 equals 1. Just in case. But nah. Nah. Now, let's see if it's hack the boxy. Yeah. So there are some, but we don't know which version we're working with presently. And we want unauthenticated. I'll also check to see if there's a Metasploit. OpenEMR, SQLI. Okay, so there is 2013, February of 2013. This was 2014. So that was like 11 months prior. And then this was 3 months prior. Privilege escalation, remote code execution. We'll try. Okay, so we need a user, unfortunately. I want to do, before I start firing attacks at this thing, I want more recon. I at least want to know if I can find a version of this thing. So what I want to do then is I'm going to continue with my Ferox Buster, but we're going to do it slightly differently. We're going to give it the X of PHP, and we're going to put it in portal/interface. While that's going, yeah. Oh boy. Oh, that just means I need to give it more space. Perhaps it shows version in the site code. Yes, perhaps it does, which is why I'm going to GitHub. And I wanna start. The first thing I want to do is I want to go to its releases and tags. So we have a copyright of 2014, which they tend to keep fairly up to date for these things. So what I want to know is I want to like range myself here. Where am I in 2014 in terms of my version numbers? So I'm going to the releases to see where we are. Okay, and there's like a big jump here. So we have in 2014 we have version 4126. 4127, 42, 4203. No, that's 2015. So basically, it's 412, 367, or version 4.2. One of those is what we're looking at here. And what we can do is we can download the source and see what the pathing is to this. Let's see if we can look at the current source and see if we see anything that looks right. So it went what? It went portal, right? Portal, and then interface, which isn't happening here. So I have a feeling that they have restructured this code since then. So what we're going to do is we're going to download a couple of these versions here and see if we find something that matches. I'm going to get a 4.2 and 4.127 just because my guess is those are big jumps. So we're going to get both of these. Documents. THM. Plotted. Save that in there. That was 4.2. Let's get 4.127. And Ferox Buster is doing some extra enumeration for us too, just in case we find anything. Okay, I found billing. That's interesting. Portal interface billing. And this gives us a little bit more of an idea of what the structure of the directories is, right? Especially if they have directory indexing set up, which would be insane. But they do. Okay, but I am getting redirected by some of these. Not all of them, though. Okay. So some of these obviously have an include that are checking to see if I'm logged in, at which point, yeah, they're redirecting me here. Site equals default is interesting. Can I mess with that? Ooh. That matters. The site equals default matters. That's interesting. I know Christy was going to be bothered if I didn't try admin and pass, so there you go. Okay, so... well, here we go. So, billing. Drugs. Fax form globals.php. So we're definitely finding stuff here. In fact, I'm going to kill this and bring it back up and bring it back up one level. The portal. And I'm going to turn off the no recurse. I'm going to let this just do its thing for a minute. While we explore over in this window these directories. So let's take a look at 4127 first. Unzip, open EMR 4127. Okay. All right, so what are we looking at here? If we look at, interestingly, there is nothing called portal. There is something called my portal, but there's something called interface. Interface has, well, drugs, and version info.php, which would be really handy. And version.php, one up. So if we go to interface / version, what was it? So interface had version info.php. Dang it. So let's go up one and see if we can find version.php. Well, that loaded, but there's nothing there. That's annoying. Did Zap catch anything? 0 bytes. Boo. What's actually in there? Cat interface version.php. Debug information. Open EMR version. Interesting. So we found version.php and it didn't have, right? That was the one that we saw that worked. Yeah, version.php, but it didn't have anything. Let's see if they left the install. Nope. What about includes? Just seeing if I can get an idea of the directory structure here. Oh, that didn't work. That's interesting. Am I one too low? Are we 0-daying this poor thing? I don't think so, Czar. I mean, they put this thing on a room. Portal account register PHP apparently can bypass auth. Cite your source, Christy. Okay, it's a 404, not a 403, which kind of leads me to believe. Oh, snap. They left the setup. Most OpenEMR installations support only one site. If that is true, then ignore the rest of this text and just continue. Otherwise, please enter a unique site ID here. Yeah, we're definitely going to change that. Kevin, thank you so much for the follow. It's very funny. Okay, we might break it, but whatever. Now I need to know whether you want me to create the database on my own or if you've already created the database for me to use. For me to create the database, you will need to supply the MySQL root password. Well, I have already created the database. Rats. We're creating a new site directory. There'll be a model for the new site. This is a password for when PHP accesses MySQL. It should be use MySQL server. I don't care about that. I want to see if I can make it happen here. SAR. I'm not searching for CVEs here. I'm seeing if this thing works. Oh, I should have cloned source database. Okay. That's actually good news. It gave me an error. All right, I think that we can do this, but I think there might be another thing we can do. So portal includes, and there was setup.php, right? What about this IPPF upgrade.php? What even is that? These should not be accessible unauthenticated. OreoByte, MySQL into Outfile web shell. That is, like, pretty not realistic these days. That's not a thing you'll find that often. It's maybe here. Maybe it's one of those obscure things. What OreoByte's talking about is that insecure MySQL configurations allow you to select data into an out file, and that out file then can be in the web root. So if you have control of the database, you can pivot from the database into a web shell that gets you code execution on the machine. That configuration hasn't been default for some time. So again, it's possible, but we're not finished with enumeration, because I still don't really know what version this is. It looks like the structure kind of looks like 4127. But the truth is, portal, config, contrib, controllers, custom. So we found all these. Controls, custom, my portal. So it's looking like 127, but let's go up to the 42 just to see if there's a difference that can confirm it for us. Okay, still called my portal. There's SQL patch. Okay, so let's see. Is there anything that's different? SQL patch upgrade, PHP unit.xml, JCL, images, ACL setup. Ooh, okay. Acknowledge license cert, ACL setup, ACL upgrade, admin.php. Wait, we didn't even look at admin.php. Oh, very good. So what happens if I hit add new site? Does it take me back to the same page we already found? It does. Interesting. What happens if I click on login? Christy, you said 501, but I don't know where you're getting that number from. Oh, there it is. There it is. Version 5.0.1. Thank you. Okay. Well then, let's search exploit again for OpenEMR. Look, there's a lot of text on here. 501. Well, we've got some remote code execution. We can stop the enumeration here. Remote code execution authenticated. And it's 501.3. So, ooh, authentication bypass maybe? Yep, 5.0.1. 3 maybe. Remote code execution authenticated. Authenticated. There's a lot of authenticated. But what is portal account registered.php authentication? That says authentication bypass, right? So let's check that out. Authentication bypass. So it seems like we're maybe going to chain some of these together. Where we're going to try this one out. And then go for the okay. It's a Python file. Let's just look for it and see if we need to clean it up at all. Oh, thank God, it's Python 3. Okay, so IP port, open EMR path. Portal account. When did CrackMap exec start doing SSH? Shortly after it became part of Porchetta Industries, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I know about 2 to 3, Turco, but 2 to 3 isn't perfect, and all 2 to 3 does is a syntactical shift. What it doesn't do is take into account any breaking changes in APIs, which you often have to fix yourself. For example, things that used to return straight up lists will now return like map objects or something else like that, which you then have to convert into lists. Okay. So it looks like we're going to do IP port open EMR path, which is just nothing. Because /portal, right? And then we're right in. Unless there's a double portal. Does it go? What are we on right now? 6. So this might have changed. Is there a portal / Yeah. That may have changed. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So whenever you stumble on a Python 2 exploit, rewrite to Python 3 and upload it to GitHub. Stop making work for me, killer. Okay, so we're going to do 3. The T is... Nope, here, there. The port is 8890, and the U should be slash... We'll try slash portal. And the path to get... I don't really know what I want. I guess I'll take a look at this packet storm security link that Christy has put in here. Well, that's just the same code. Okay, but an authenticated user is able to bypass the patient portal login by simply navigating to the registration page. And modifying the requested URL to access the desired page. Some of the pages in the portal directory that are accessible after browsing the registration page include get allergies, get amendments, get lab results, get medications, get patient documents. Yikes! Get problems, get profile, messaging, messages, messaging, secure chat. I think we're going to do that. That's path to get, right? I said host is not vulnerable. Registration for patients is not enabled. But it's because we've got a 404. Now, that is potentially because it's like root here. Oh, that did not work. No. Oh, I thought we were onto something there. I think that's about... Target port, EMR path, slash portal, slash account, slash... Let's see if we can get to this at all. You know what I mean? And register. Because if we can just register for an account... Wow. So that's my thing. Is there a double portal here? Interesting. So there is. It's portal portal. Weird. Okay. Let's take a look at that again. So portal account plus target port plus open EMR path slash portal, which we did, and then slash portal slash account slash register.php. I think they did the portal thing just to mess with us. Now that we know that it's 501.3, let's go get that source code and remove these others because we don't need them. That'll help us walk through this a little bit. If Valve can't get us Portal 3, maybe OpenEMR can. Yeah, I guess we haven't tried Portal. Oh, too far, right? Too far. 5013. There we go. Not 501c3, which would be nonprofit. And appropriate. I'm trying to imagine the nightmare of getting an open source tool like OpenEMR. That's much larger. An open source tool like OpenEMR pass a risk assessment. Like, I'm the guy that would have to say this is secure to use in a hospital environment. This is definitely larger. Okay. So what are we looking at here vis-a-vis directory structure? So we found admin.php, build.xml. Interesting. I want to see what that build.xml looks like. Ah, boo. Oh, wait, no. /portal/build.xml, right? Yeah, see, they're just messing with us. They added this extra portal. Build.xml doesn't delete itself? But why? Okay. So we had Docker compose.yaml. Very funny. Do you think there's any possibility at all that they set these this way? This is, but the thing is that they're not. Well, right. So what we're looking at here, if you're not familiar, this is a Docker Compose file. Let me zoom that in a little bit. Yeah. This is a Docker Compose file that allows you to bring up multiple containers at once. So that's kind of wild. Different services too. So OpenEMR, it has different versions of it. 7.1, 7.2. And it's exposing different ports. 8081 goes to... and oh, this is like a trial version. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's MariaDB. There's also MySQL. But the point is that what it's looking like here is it brings up all of these at once. This is for building a local EMR development and testing environment. On the main setup input. Yeah, that's wacky. So when you do Docker Compose up, what it does is it creates like a dozen containers. OpenEMR 7.1, OpenEMR 7.2, MariaDB. The thing is that none of these ports are the 8900 that we're seeing. So I don't have enough reason to believe yet that this is actually a containerized deployment here. That instead what we're dealing with is someone just pulled in the Git repo and launched it and didn't remove Docker compose.yaml, as opposed to this being a containerized situation. Maybe it is, but I don't have enough evidence to go down that road just yet. It's just that it's in there, in the folder. Okay. So coming back to this exploit here. It's got to be /portal. And let me quote this just in case something weird was happening. $88.90, yeah. Okay. Getting rid of the slash. Registration for patients is not enabled. Okay, well. I think it's portal. The thing is that killer, if we do that, that would be a triple portal if that were true, because the string concatenation that they're doing is taking our open EMR path and adding portal to it. And then a count. Yeah, and so if we're considering this root folder to be /portal, inside of the second one, portal 2, there is not a third portal. There's just get allergies, yeah. And stuff. But let's see. Hold on a second. We got a 404. But let's try another one of these. Registration for patients is not enabled. I think this one might be a dead end, friends. I think we're going to have to move on from this one, which is fine. Because we still have other stuff we haven't explored. For example, we didn't do this. I don't know why this would be true. I'm pretty sure this didn't work. Yeah. So it made the site, but it didn't actually write anything to the database. So we're going to have to go back to admin.php here. Portal/admin.php. Right. Let's test those databases. Detailed installation instructions can be found in the install file. Awesome. Okay, we kind of know this, though. I've done a PHP application or two in my life. I have already created the database. Let's try root and root. Were some paths in the manual? There were no paths in the manual, Christy, that we wouldn't have seen in the actual repository. The one thing I'm seeing here, though, is that this server port is not, like, it's not 3306, right? It's 5900. At least that's what's open. Yeah. I checked for .git. It's not present. I can't clone the source. But by the way, we had a successful connection here. So open EMR. Open EMR. Let's see if they were really lazy. We didn't get an authentication error, which means I think we just hit the database. Let's confirm that. 10.10.225.88p5900 u open EMR p. I typed the wrong IP address. (10.10.225.88) and -p is how we do that, right? But it's possible that it's only local. Right, that I can't connect remotely. OpenEMR has already been installed. If you then edit var dub classes. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, so OpenEMR password. OpenEMR. Let's actually go back. Have setup create the database. Yeah, we'll try logging in as such. Amden. Nah. No, we're close. We're close. Let's see. I wasn't off on the port, right? No. Obviously I wasn't, because I got... I didn't do something weird with my MySQL invocation, did I? H is host. I did. It's a capital P. No, it's a capital P for port. Like the difference between SSH and SFTP. Not SFTP, SCP. Ah, come on. Well, that one, it said access denied for user open EMR at IP. And this, I think, is the problem, is that we were there. It's just that it's 10.13.720. Oh, wait. I think we're good, though. Oh, we were so close. We'll try one more time with this. I've already created the database, which is true. We change the database name, it shouldn't yell at us. Assuming OpenEMR has rights to make new databases. Which it did not. Sites tag3 sqlconf.php. Change the config variable to 0 and rerun the script. Okay, so We tried the authentication bypass. It didn't really work out for us. How many sites can I make? Where was that install? Documentation. Maybe there was something in here that we missed. The Docker Christie's, I don't know. Well, let me tell you why I'm hesitant on it. We don't have any evidence. You might be right, but at the moment, we don't have any evidence that it is a Dockerized thing. Because the only ports we saw open was this 8890. Now, maybe they're local only. Maybe that's true. The only evidence we have is lack of evidence for other stuff. Not wrong. What other exploits were there? Remote code execution authenticated. Yeah, I'm familiar with how that works, Christy. I'm stuck on this database thing. Oh wait, hold on a second. Because we authenticated. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting. Don't I also... Yeah. I have to... you have to... We can pull it. Pull it out with the Docker. I'm not sure what you mean by, oh, the database. Well, we'll pull the starter database. Let me think this through for a second. When we're installing a new site, wait a minute. We don't actually care about the data in the database, right? We just care that there is one. Yes, Christy, it'll pull the starter database. It won't have any data, but we don't actually care about the data in the database. We only care that there's a database server available that we can authenticate to. Because what we want is to be able to log into the site to get the code execution. So, what if we hosted a MySQL server locally on our machine, pointed the install to it, right, with whatever information we want to set it up with, right? It doesn't matter. And then we move from there. Okay. So to make that happen, we're going to need to get up a MySQL server. Easiest way to do that, definitely just pulling MySQL from Docker. Hey, GoPro. Okay, so the way this works is Docker run, and yeah, we can give it environment variables. All we're saying is the install gives us the option of what database, not just database period, but database server to use. So let's give it ours. Because all we really care about is that sweet PHP. As long as we can authenticate with a username and password of our choosing, once we're in on that PHP page, we're good. We don't really care. So let's just do that, because we're allowed to make as many sites as we want. Okay. So first of all, we're going to pull MySQL latest. And I'm Docker container or Docker image ls. This should be up and running. There's no way I don't have Docker. Yeah, there we go. So Docker image pull MySQL latest. Down it come. Right, okay. So let's go ahead and navigate back to the install page. And we'll make tag 4. Because these are all broken now. Okay, so we'll do Docker container run. Name, MySQL, RM, E MySQL, root, password, equals root, it doesn't matter. Port We'll do 5900 to 5900 just to keep it sane. Oh, wait, no. What is it? It's 3306 internally, right? Insecure password. Yeah. It's got to be 3306. I think we're just in. Yeah. It's got to be. So, and then detached mode. I got to give it an image to run. Okay. Docker container ls. MySQL is up and running. Let's confirm that we can hit it. MySQL h. It takes a second for MySQL to come up, as I recall. H localhost p 5900 u root p. When you exploit that as a 4-letter password. So MySQL password versus MySQL root. So there are 5 environment variables. There's MySQL root password, which is the password for root, MySQL root host, MySQL database, MySQL user, and MySQL password. We can try. We'll try, yeah, okay, here we go. We'll try, doing it without root. See if that does any better. It's insane to me that that would have been a good thing to check, GoPro. So this time we'll do MySQL password equals, we'll do it all this way. OpenEMR, MySQL, database equals OpenEMR, and MySQL user equals OpenEMR. Oh, I have to give it, right. I have to give it a tacky for every single one of these. Because command line is not the way that this should be done. Well, that sucks. Docker PS. What is this? 2016? Let's run it without the the double dash RM. Okay, Docker container less. Right. All right. So what happened? Oh, I have to I have to provide all of them. Okay, well, let's do Docker container prune. This is a dumb thing to get stuck on. Just the administrivia of MySQL. I reclaimed almost a gig of space. All right. Yeah, it's true. Checking, it turns out checking the logs, super helpful. So what does it want? It needs a MySQL root password. Obviously, it's got to be root. Okay. So it's starting. If memory serves, this does take a second to come online. You could tail with F, I think. Yes, you can. Yeah. It's created with an empty password. Is that true? I don't think it was true. CDC one. That's okay, Zara. I've been there. So I was worried, GoPro, that this was going to happen. I forgot to. You just reminded me. Not that I'm saying pop in, but you just reminded me I forgot to connect to the voice chat in the Discord. I was worried about that. Fish might have messed me up on that. Although, it shouldn't have. Because what Fish should have seen is this, and then the key value pair is a single string. Yeah, I can. Painter. Exec. T. SQL. Gosh. No, I hate Docker inspect, and I never remember the formatting for it. All right, what do we got? No, it definitely picked these up. MySQL root password, MySQL password, MySQL user. All good. Nope. Okay. It did pick them up. Okay. We should be good then. Let me try to hit it one more time. Lost connection to MySQL server at handshake reading initial communication packet. That's weird. Hang on. Towards data science. Wow, I haven't been on this site in a minute. Okay, it's definitely 3306. Mm-hmm. Okay. This might be a localhost weird thing. I'm gonna try it just to see what happens. Type 4. Assuming I have it. Yep. What happens if I netcat? Okay, I get data. That actually looks like it is TLS encrypted, actually. What? Bizarre. Okay, but let's continue. Let's... I've already created the database, right? And then we say, okay, so it's not localhost. It's 10.13.7.20. Let me check my time. That's not true. That's for sure not true. There we go. Okay, so open EMR. Server port is 5900. Password. Open EMR. And then 3. Sorry, the first one is when we tried it, it took us right to the error. I think this is what we want, and it's not. Well, that's a different result. This might take a second to work, though. I don't know if you remember when we did the install of Moodle, but it took a minute for the database to populate. So this might be working. Let's check. Okay, show databases. Show tables from OpenEMR. I didn't make those. So I think it is working. Confused screaming. Welcome to every Linux sysadmin ever. By the way, I know I was giving Christy a little bit of a hard time with the Docker thing. This is why you do it with Docker, basically. There was GoPro. I don't know why we couldn't connect over localhost, but it's definitely working. Yeah, it's making the tables right now. We're seeing it in real time. Oreo Bite, if you have questions, please ask them. We've got some time for a second to answer questions. But yeah, this is why you use Docker. I don't know what to ask. I understand. let me recap then. Let's see if we can recap what we've done. So after enumerating the site, the server, we found an installation of OpenEMR. And OpenEMR, we didn't know what version, but Searchsploit told us there were a bunch of different vulnerabilities across multiple versions. We looked on GitHub to find different like file structures for different versions to see if we could match that up. And we found through that, because it was open source and on GitHub, we were able to identify a page called admin.php that actually took us someplace interesting, where we can make new instances of OpenEMR on the same server. To do that, we had to re-specify a database location, which I was freaking out about because it was like, I need the database password, and I thought I had it, but no. But this is where we're kind of pulling the trick off. Instead of using the local MySQL server on the target, we're making our own and just pointing the installation path to that. So what you're seeing happen now is it's making all of its OpenEMR database stuff on our database. And we don't really care about that, because all we needed to do is make the database correctly so that then we can log in with our credentials, which we've already set. To Killer's point about creds, we've already set the admin password for that. Now we just get to use an authenticated remote code execution exploit afterward, and then we're in, at least at that part. So that's what's happened so far. Now, Christy, I think what basically has happened, and the reason the Docker Compose was in there, is they basically just git cloned everything on GitHub down into their web server root folder, right? And consequently, stuff like the install file, the README file, all that stuff, including the Docker Compose YAML, was going to still be there, even though they weren't using it. There's a good chance, since you have control over all the data in the database, that it actually opens up new routes to get code execution. It's entirely possible. That's true. If there are like templates that I can just write to 55 rows. I don't want to reduce it to lazy devs, Killer. I would actually say it is a little bit careless to let the install script kick around. That shouldn't be there. And it definitely shouldn't be unauthenticated. But there's a little bit to be said for controls on the administration side too. Yes, but you should create compose the same version they specify in the doc file, because there might be version incompatibilities. I'm not really following, Kirsty. I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just not sure that they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, if they cloned, did the Docker Compose file have a different version? I guess it had like an 8 or something, right? But the tagging, maybe that's something weird that they did, that the tagging for the Docker images is different than their version numbers, which would be crazy. I mean, here it is. 7.2, 7.1. That is odd. This is version 3. Well, that's the YAML version. But what's interesting is, I don't know what this 7.1 is all about, but the way that they're doing this is that the actual tag for the image is flex. Well, now we have the DB. So once this is done, which hopefully will be soon. Good God. It's taking a minute to build this database. But what we want to do after this is finished is we're going to use our credentials to log into the site, poke around. There's nothing there, but that we know of. I don't know. We didn't clone the previous site, so whatever. But because of that, we do have. Did it insert the default credentials yet? I don't see users. Yeah, I don't see a users database table or anything yet. Maybe in config. I'm still waiting for this thing to pop back up and tell me that it's done, which it should do. No, show tables. There's show columns from config. Yeah, we're not there yet. It's got to build out the rest here. Is groups not built out yet? Killer, despite your ragging, this has nothing to do with bandwidth. This has everything to do, plus it's the VPN, I can't control that. But this has everything to do with the processing speed. Now, I could have given the Docker more resources, I guess, but... Yeah, let's take a look at the other search exploit stuff, though. This is taking a while. Search exploit, OpenEMR. 5013. It seems like dealer's choice. In fact, oh, there's an SQLi I dumped for. Yeah, that's a little older. Still 82 roles. This syndromic surveillance must be gigantic. Kenad, thank you so much for the follow. So let's take a look at some of these others. We took a look at this portal account registration, and that was no good. Let's take a look at this remote code execution 45161. This proof of concept will replace the global config. If you don't want the OpenEMR config to be reset to default, please modify the payload. You found an XSS in addtemplate.php. Get that CVE. Project security. Look at this. Yeah, we're gonna have to change up some of the some of the stuff in this exploit in order for it to work. Oh, you found it. I mean, you said I found an XSS. Good lord. Hey, another row or another column has shown up. Sorry, another table has shown up. So slowly but surely, 86. All right, we're making progress. That looked good. We're gonna mirror that one in. And let's start messing with that because that's gonna be our next step. So the command to run, right? But we have to change the site to tag 4, right? Let's look for site equals anywhere else. That's it. Hey, Security Live. Thanks for the resub. Didn't you just do that? But anyway, thank you. Whoa, more tables. God, so as a healthcare worker, this is terrifying. Is the database joined so you can create a custom table as root or read files? Yes. I can do all of these things. Okay, EU friends, go to sleep. The video will be available. I mean, we've got a payload here. For code execution. Which should give us a shell. I said before we actually started the stream that I wasn't going to be above using PwnKit on this. And given the timing... Oh, now we have pharmacies and payments. And patient data. Okay, healthcare, here's your healthcare InfoSec minute. What is the thing in this database that would cause, well, actually more than one thing, but what is like the thing that would cause a HIPAA freakout? That would require like reports and possibly fines for the healthcare organization that was using this thing if this data was disclosed. Look at these database tables, columns. Monthly income, billing notes, homeless. Okay. So user information. In healthcare, we distinguish between PII, personally identifiable information, and PHI, personal healthcare information. And it's the healthcare information that if it gets disclosed, you are in hot water. So one thing that it's called an ID here, but really this number, this ID here, would be considered, if this is your authoritative database for the healthcare organization, this would be considered an MRN, or a medical record number. But look what else is in the database. There's a social security number. There's like so much stuff in here because it's a medical database that if this got out, like that's the ball game. Now, there are standards about how this stuff is supposed to be stored. I have a feeling that a lot of this isn't getting stored encrypted either. Encrypted with base 64. Was the user the last thing on here? Matt Damon was here. Okay. All right, so we updated it to use our site. So we're still just waiting for this database to populate. How's everybody's week going? Don't ask. I did. It's too late. I already asked. Long work days. Yeah, I feel that. Can I show how much the data is in megabytes? I don't actually know how to do that from. Let's find out. Oh, there you go. Thanks, Stack Overflow. I'm not sure why, but this week has been real hard for me too. Even though it's just Tuesday, that's how hard it is. I don't know, something about confluence of news. Hey, Conundrum. Welcome. Probably should have waited. This poor thing. No! There we go. Oh. Hey, we have users. And by the way, to answer the question, 4 megabytes. Oh my god. But the users don't exist yet. Metric or imperial megabytes? The metric or mebibytes? That's a thing. I had to check myself on that the other day. I was writing something for Offensive Notion, and I was doing a calculation of what our max payload size was, and because it was all in factors of 10, I was like, oh no, this isn't megabytes, this is mebibytes, and I'm not dividing by 1024 to find out otherwise. Are we somehow not done? Just creating tables. Good God. Interesting that the selects don't stay. Oh, because password is protected. That's why it doesn't stay. That sucks. You're killing me here. How long has this been that we've been waiting for this? Had it. I'm trying anyway. I'm worried that Burp broke this in some way, although we're not getting a 502 or anything. But the setup can... Well, I don't know if we broke it so much. Let's try it without the proxy. Yeah. Great. What just happened? God. How are they encrypted? Oh, this is asinine. Unbelievable. Okay. 10.13.7.20. 5900. No, this isn't going to work. We don't want to do that. We want to do this. 10.13.7.20. 5900. What I want to see is if there's a difference with doing it without the proxy database. Open EMR. And password. Now see how it's not stopped? It's continuing to load. That's interesting. All right, while this is doing its thing, let's talk about something else because dead air sucks. Timer. I think we're okay. I don't know if you saw, there was a pretty interesting Samba CVE that came out today that I am interested in checking out. Yeah, 2021 44142. Where all versions of Samba prior to 4.13.17, this vulnerability allows remote attackers to execute arbitrary code as root on affected Samba installations that use the VFS module VFS fruit. Now, I have yet to see a proof of concept for this. Still waiting to see if there is one. But this one's way scarier than the PwnKit one, because this one is remotely exploitable, right? Remote attackers. This got a 9.9, I'm pretty sure. Are you kidding me with this? Good job, Miter. Good job. I promise it's here, and I promise it's bad. This was the Hacker News article. Since it's 9.9, I'm guessing VFS fruit is used by default. I'm pretty sure it is, because it's what allows you to interact with Samba shares on Apple, right? So if you want to have a mixed use environment. The vulnerability rated 9.9 has been credited to Orange Psy. Right, and so we should see POC somewhere at some point, given their track record. But yeah, patch your Samba servers, everybody. This looks ugly. I'm hoping this goes a little bit faster now that we're not working through the proxy. I'm hoping it doesn't die. This is just green tea with mint. And I have some water too. Buffer Overflow, thank you so much for the follow. I'm sorry I didn't see that in real time. BTLO is revamping their blue team level 1. That's cool. Be interested to see what they come up with. It's set at 210 rows now. That's interesting. BTLO is Blue Team Labs Online. They are very particular about people streaming stuff, which is why I don't use them. Also, they're like all paid. But their certification is really well regarded. You've got to be kidding me. They're moving the 12-hour right up. So I have to admit, I'm not as familiar with the BTLO certification process because I kind of went down the eLearn security road. For better or worse. Nah, it was okay. I don't mind. They've gotten weirder. Hey, J Beers. Kind of like stuck on this database build here. Oh, BTL1 used to be 12 hours of lab and 12-hour write-up. So, like the OSCP, but worse. Not worse, but the same sort of, like, kill yourself for 24 hours. No, thank you. Maybe 24-hour lab with questions you complete. I don't know if I love that difference. You know? So, the best blue team cert that I've seen, that I've done, is the eLearn Security Certified Threat Hunting Professional, the ECTHP. The way they do it is it's, I think it's 48-48. Or is it 3 days? I think it's 48-48. So 48 hours for the investigation and 48 hours for the lab write-up. And I like that because you have, first of all, you can sleep. And also, you can take your time with the investigation in a way that makes sense for threat hunting. It's BTL level 2. Okay. Yeah, JBers. So what we're doing is we're working on a TryHackMe room, and the room called Plotter uses a software called OpenEMR. And it allowed us to install a new instance of the application. However, and point to whatever database that we want. So basically, we are creating a new version of the application using a database that we host. And that's basically it. We're just waiting for the installation to finish. The only problem is that it's taking forever. User secure. Nothing there. Yeah, if we can make it work. This thing's killing me, though. I'm waiting for my admin user to show up in this database. I'm waiting for anything to show up here. Alice, or Ali's, thank you so much for the follow. Still just loading data. It's interesting that it's oscillating between 210 and like 209 rows, right? Have I tried to read Etsy password from the DBers that only show the Docker Etsy password file? That's right. It won't. Let's explain the architecture here and why we cannot use the database, qua database, to get code execution on our target. It's diagram time. So, here's my Kali box. Here is the target. The target is hosting Apache. It's hosting OpenEMR, right? And it also was hosting, or was using, a local MySQL database. What we are doing is we are changing that up. Oops. We are changing that up. So what we're doing instead is we're saying you, instead of talking to our to your MySQL, you are going to talk to us. But what is us? Us is a Docker container that in turn has a there we go. That has a Docker daemon that has MySQL running. And we're pointing it to that instead. And that is kind of what we're trying to redirect here. So consequently, if I were to get, MySQL, Christy, I just changed it up. I just did that. We're good. We're good. Thank you for the check. Yep, 141. We're good. So if we were to get Etsy password, we'd be getting Etsy password from the Docker container. Not even from my host. I'd just be getting it from this. Unfortunately. Now, because that's where that's hosted. What I might be able to do, Zara mentioned this a little bit, what I might be able to do, depending on what's available, is insert something into the database that allows me to get code execution directly. If there's like a template or something where I could inject PHP into the database itself, that's possible. But that would only work because it would be running on this server hosting Apache. This is really bothersome. So kind of like some kind of load SO files command injection. No, what I was saying, Oreo, is like, imagine if there was a database of templates, right, for emails or comments or whatever, just like saved text somewhere, and I could inject PHP into that in turn would be loaded and rendered. But yeah, as Zar says, the only reason we're doing this is to get a database that works. But honestly, I'm killing it. I'm restarting this whole thing. This is not working the way that I want. Because it shouldn't be taking this long. I think we messed it up with earlier writes. So we're going to try to really, really quick restart it. And if it still isn't working after like 5 minutes, we'll call it a night and try again another time. I don't want to waste your time or mine. But, so Zara, I thought about that. But I don't know that that was the only table that was, the only thing that was missing. You know what I mean? I could have looked at what tables it was creating, but instead, we're going to bring this up again. All right, one more. We've gone through the auth code at this point. Try to fill the. Oh, sorry, it's cool. Thanks, Patat Cat. Appreciate it. Okay. This is going to be all different, so just leave one of these open here. See how this goes. What is flag 1? I wonder if that's going to be in the interface somewhere. Number one reason why Home Lab is best lab. Agreed. And I have to tell you that one of the things that is probably going to start happening with this channel is that as we build out the lab we have more and more, TryHackMe and Hack the Box are going to start fading to the background a little bit more. That we can do a little bit more rather than chasing flags. We can teach on concepts more deeply. We can explore them at our leisure. We don't have to worry about timers. We don't have to worry about a lab that we're not guessing, right? We can build out a scenario and then have a conversation about that scenario. That's really where I want to go with the content here is deliver something a little bit different than what's going on elsewhere. Not to denigrate anybody else who's doing this. I love Al's stuff, Tiberius, all that's really, really cool. I am in my bones, though, an educator. So I need to find a way to make this platform more didactic. Orbital, thank you so much for the gift sub to Sylvester. All right, let's see if we're up here. Hey, okay. Oh, I have to go change the exploit now. Let me do that before I forget about it. What the... Would you be interested in getting community-made labs? I absolutely would, Sorry, yes. As a matter of fact, I'm interested not only in community-made labs, I'm interested in, like, bringing people in, maybe over WireGuard or something, and, like, giving them a little playground inside of the lab to see how an attacker would attack and will defend, or will do vice versa, to do it in real time to see how that looks. GoPro, you know, this ain't a job. You know what I mean? Do it when you feel you're up to it and when you have the time. I had to remind myself of that. That the second it starts feeling like a job, something went wrong. I do this because I like doing it. Okay, now the socket's ready. Okay, continue. I've already created the database, which is true. We've created the database. It's going to be 10, 13, 720, 5900, open EMR, open EMR, open EMR, and then all right. Well, we're back to where we were. Making tables. This is where tables come from. When a web application and a database server love each other very much, they establish a socket over port 3306. And that's about as much as I feel comfortable telling you. Your mother can tell you the rest. Okay. We're definitely going faster because we got stuck on syndromic surveillance for a minute last time. And I think that we solved a problem by not using the proxy for this, because there has to be constant communication back and forth here during this process. And I do remember breaking that when I was doing a Moodle installation once over Zap. Yeah. Now we're doing better. Did I just jinx myself? Okay, Zara got me curious though. How does OpenEMR authenticate or how does? Oh, hold on a second. So, Christy, the VPN isn't between me and the target anymore. I'm in the same network as it. If I were going out to the internet via the VPN, I would agree. I think this may be a limitation of either how many CPU cores I've given the Docker container, right? Or how many CPU cores the virtual machine itself has. We're moving, though. But I am curious how... Let's see... Portal. CD... You know what? Hold on a second. All right, let's see what register.php has for us. Still going. Good. Let's look for password. Registering doesn't require a password? Interface. There we go. Use OpenEMR core header. How we doing over here? 82 rows. That's just the database connection. What we need is a model, right? In a model view controller situation, we need... Wow. All right, let's look at setup.php. Library authentication, password hashing. Okay. Oh, it's just a PHP, it's just a crypt. Blowfish. Encrypt. If Blowfish is not available, SHA-1 with prepended salt will be used. But it definitely will have Blowfish. Well, thank you for setting our possibility space. That's handy. Salt is empty by default. Incredible. Thank you. And it didn't even make us set salt when we made the database. Thanks, Oreo Bite. I appreciate it. God, this thing. Do I want to know a little fun fact about bcrypt? Of course I do. Not Yan on Twitter, right? They're cool. I watched bcrypt interview Chelsea Manning at Hope. Killing me here. Is this just hard because it takes a million years? If you let bcrypt work with raw hex digest, it only compares up to the first null byte. So if your hex test... Sar, is this related to the CTF that you and I worked on that one time? Because I think we ran into something like that, right? That might have been a Java thing, though. So if your hex digest happens to contain a null byte on, say, the first byte, you can log in with any password that also results in the first byte being a null byte. Yeah, that's that is wacky. Oh my god. Like, it's obviously working. Yep, nothing new. No errors from the server. What should be happening here? Let's look at setup.php and see what should be happening. Okay, we didn't get a die message. If command line and empty request site. Okay, here's the handler. Owner I'm sorry. Owner Canuckton, thank you so much for the follow. State equals 7. That's the only one. Okay, so here's the switch case for different states of the installation. And it says now I need you to supply the MySQL server. Okay. Let's look for case. Case 3. Errors for installation. So we should have seen this, like echo connected to MySQL server, then flush. That should have been going out on standard out. Installer, root database connection. Only print native cloning. No. As near as I can tell, we should be seeing messages come in to the database. We're building new tables, though, at least, so that's happening. It's so frustrating. Patient data has columns. Not show, select. It's concerning, though, that we're not seeing any information at all here. What a showstopper. Literally. Aha, there's users. User secure. Okay. Now we know that's not the last thing that it makes. Oh, this is gonna suck. Let's vim database.sql. Okay, so the last table that gets made is... Let's look for create table. Okay. So that's where we are. We're at voids. X12 partners we saw. Automatic notification. Also there. Hold on a second. There are 209 tables, is how we figured that out. Grep-C for count for create table. There are 209 tables to make. God, it is just slow as molasses. Has everybody on the Wordle today? This is vamping. I have not. Let's do it live. Without cheating this time. Ah! Turn off Vimium for this. what's that? It's a word game that has taken the internet by storm and then got bought by the New York Times. Off, please. Thank you. Okay. So the idea here is you got to guess the word in 6 attempts. And yellow means that you have the right letter, it's in the wrong position. Green means that you have the right letter in the right position. And gray means that you have neither. Okay. So we've got a T and an E and an S. Okay. What if it's T, X, E, S? What are these? Well, that didn't take long at all. I am what you might describe as hyperverbal, if you didn't pick that up already. That really didn't kill as much time as I had hoped. All right, 175. We're almost there. The truth is, I only experience the world through language. Really, everything else is just kind of an accident. All right, I know what we can do to kill some time. For those of you who are willing to stick around this long, you want to see the project that Husky and I are working on? Yeah. I think we're in a good spot to do this. So we're working on a C2 agent that uses Notion, the note-taking app, as its base. Yeah, let's just do cargo run D. Well, now it's in good shape. So we'll have to build it. Shockingly good, though. Also, I don't care if you see this API key, because you literally can't do anything with it unless I've shared it to something that you have. I guess you can mess with my page now. I'd rather you not do that. I'll recycle these when I need to. 10. Enter parent page ID. And the API key. And now we have a new C2 page from Odyssey. And what we need is, we need the target emoji to indicate commands that are ready to go. So one thing we can do is actually do a PS without a shell command. We get data back. We can also do regular shell commands like shell who am I? And once we give it the target emoji, it will fire that off. We can also load up more than one at a time. So if we do a to-do list, we'll do shell calc.exe, and then we'll do another one that's shell notepad.exe. As long as I don't have that bullet emoji in there, it won't care about those commands. But the second that I put that on there, it'll start firing these off in turn. Other stuff. We have the ability to so each of these is a unique working directory, right? How would multiple agents work each on their own page? That's right, Sar. Each one gets their own page. But watch this. This is one of my favorites. Without invoking the shell, we can CD to different places. So if we do CD source, that'll change our working directory without invoking the shell, which is just a nice, like from Interpreter, handy dandy utility. Oh no, it died. No such file directory. I gotta handle that error better. There's a file source. Maybe that's not where it was running from. No, it was. Bizarre. So still some things to work on. The other thing that we can do, though, that I haven't shown off because I don't have Kali ready to go for it, is that we actually have the capability of injecting shellcode right from here. So this is some Metasploit shellcode, and we give it the shared URL to this and the PID that we want to inject into, and it'll just do it. So it's coming along pretty well. Pretty excited by this, and this is written in Rust. We'll do a little bit more on that at some point. 210 rows. Are you kidding me? The tables are made, but the users aren't there? It's still loading. What's the last thing that happens in this? Can one agent write to other agents' pages? At the moment, no, but there's nothing that would prevent you from doing so. We would just have to create the command to do it. The last thing that happens is creates medx recalls, which definitely exists. I was thinking one agent could take over other agents by abusing access. Okay. Well, this was obviously a little bit of a wash. I'm sorry about that. I'm running out of time, so I think what we'll have to do is revisit this another time. But, we did a cool thing where we got a database running. At least that was a good start. Not the instructive night that I had planned, so I apologize for that. But Upshaw, you didn't create these tables and you were able to complete the challenge. I'm just trying to install the data. I'm trying to install the application the way that it's supposed to go. I'd love to know more about how you did it. But I'm just watching to see if the database actually created, which it did, but then the data didn't seem to get filled in. Let me just see if there's anything in background services. There is stuff in background services, but not in users. Okay. We're gonna try one thing. Yeah, I saw that too, Zar. Ugh. I don't feel like writing this out. Thank you. Okay. Show columns from users. Good. Insert into users values. I don't want to mess this up. What are we doing? Thank you, W3 schools. To table name. So insert into users ID, username. Actually, I just do username, password, right? Password. And also authorized. And authorized was a tiny int, so probably 1. So values admin 1. Okay. Dang it. Oh wait, round's 12. I didn't see how many rounds it was looking for. I'm gonna check out. I'm sorry, friends, but we'll be back at it tomorrow doing some programming stuff. So, if you're interested in that, feel free to check in then. Same time, 5 p.m. Pacific. See if there's anybody who is streaming. If you don't know about the hack list, there are lots of us out here trying to do the good work. Oh, Security Live is live, in fact? If so, that is where we're gonna go. They just start? Yeah. We'll send everybody over to Security Live. Faux show. All right, thanks, friends. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and happy hacking.